Thank you very much, Precious. Let's move to business news now. President Bola Tinubu has reiterated his commitment in undertaking bold and comprehensive reforms to reposition the country's fiscal architecture for resilience, inclusiveness, and economic growth. The president said this at the 27th Annual Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria Tax Conference in Abuja with the theme, Taxation for Development, Policies, Law, and Implementation. President Tinubu, represented by the Minister of State for Finance, Dr. Doris Uzoka-Anite, said the central pillar of the reforms is taxation. He said the government is taking deliberate steps to restructure and modernize the nation's tax administration and legal framework. CITN President Samuel Agbeluyi said tax is an important factor in every economy, and taxation is not merely a tool for revenue generation, but a powerful instrument for promoting equity, redistributing wealth, and funding public services.
So they're very important to national development. As you know, when citizens pay tax and achieve their civic responsibility, government has revenue to build roads, provide infrastructure, build schools, pay for services, social infrastructure that keeps the economy going, and that is what alleviates poverty and improves the livelihood and the welfare and creates prosperity for everybody in the country. So they are very important to the national development, especially the Renewed Hope agenda of Mr. President.
The outcome of the reform is what we are going to be experiencing thereafter, which is for better Nigeria, to have more money, to be able to have an inclusive system where everybody is dragged into the tax net.
Once Nigeria is good, everybody will be good. And so we appreciate what President Bola Tinubu has done, his initiative about the tax reform bill. We have supported this bill from day one, and we keep on marketing it because we have seen professionally, we have seen the benefit this is going to give to us as a country. And so we are moving to the implementation stage. We will be there with the government to ensure that it is properly implemented.
As part of ongoing efforts to sanitize the building sector, the federal government is calling for stronger collaboration among stakeholders, particularly the NIA, to drive sustainable development in the housing sector. President Bola Tinubu made the call at the anniversary of the institute in Abuja. We have more in this report.
Smiles and laughter filled the air as government officials, industry experts, and professionals in the built environment gathered in Abuja. The event is to celebrate more than 6 decades of existence of the Nigerian Institute of Architects and served as a platform to strengthen collaboration for establishing building manufacturing hubs, a key step towards making housing more affordable for Nigerians. Representing President Bola Tinubu, the Minister of Housing and Urban Development highlighted the indispensable role of architects in achieving the administration's goal of delivering accessible and affordable housing to citizens. He also acknowledged the Nigerian Institute of Architects for its long-standing contributions to national development.
This anniversary is not merely a celebration of your esteemed legacy, but also a reaffirmation of your crucial role in advancing the infrastructural renewal of our nation under our Renewed Hope agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, architecture is more than the design of buildings. It's a noble profession that harmonizes creativity with utility, aesthetics with resilience, and tradition with innovation.
In her remarks, the president of the institute applauded the resilience of members across the country while urging them to embrace cutting-edge innovations and technological global trends in architectural design.
Our footprints grace skylines. They influence public policy and shape educational standards. Today, we celebrate not just structures, but the stories behind them and the significant role we have played in shaping the architectural landscape of our nation. To imagine a body that would elevate our profession to national prominence, that vision remains alive in our pursuit of design excellence, integrity, and public relevance.
As the Institute celebrates years of impact, the call for deeper collaboration sends a clear message Achieving a well-structured and affordable housing sector will require collective action and innovations for more players in the built environment.
The stock market stays bullish with its rising prices in key sectors following renewed interest in stocks picked by many investors. The market index grew by 0.27%, stressing gains on trades. Northern Nigeria Flour Mills was the biggest price gainer at the close of business with 10%, followed by MC Nichols, Champion Breweries, Carverton Aviation, and FTN Cocoa. The top trade losers included Multiverse, Legend Internet, Veritas Capital, Transcore, and Ikeja Hotels. Stocks climbed in Asia today while the dollar wobbled as relatively U.S. inflation data kept alive the prospect of rate cuts by the Federal Reserve later this year, even as investors were still gauging if the worst of the trade conflicts were over. MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan was 1.1% higher after U.S. stocks climbed back into positive territory for the year, erasing losses triggered by Trump's rollout of sweeping tariffs. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index jumped 1.4%, lifted by tech stocks after Chinese e-commerce retailer JD.com posted strong results. Equity futures pointed to retreats in European markets and a flat day on Wall Street. Japan's Nikkei gauge slid 0.4%, trimming a 1.4% advance on Tuesday. Sony says it expects operating profits to rise 0.3% to 1.28 trillion yen, which is about $8.7 billion in the financial year ended in March, after factoring in a 100 billion yen loss hit by U.S. President Donald Trump's trade war. The company says the estimated tariff impact does not reflect this week's trade deal between the United States and China. Sony's shares erased their losses and closed up 3.7% after the results were announced. The company said it would buy back 100 million shares for about 250 billion yen. The electronics giant has sold more than 2.8 million PlayStation 5 units between January and March, recording a 38% drop compared to a year earlier. Operating profits at the gaming unit fell by 12.5% over the same period. Crude oil prices retreated today as traders eyed a potential jump in U.S. crude inventories, though prices held near 2 weeks high amid relief after the United States and China agreed to temporarily lower their reciprocal tariffs. U.S. West Texas Intermediate fell to $63.26 per barrel, with a price decline of 0.64%. Brent crude futures sold at $66.21 per barrel, with a downward price margin of 0.63%. Bonnie Light sell at $78.62 per barrel, with a downward review of 2.84%. For the OPEC basket, dealers offer $64.31 per barrel, with an uptick of 2.29%.